friends, happy Friday Eve. Welcome back to my channel, welcome back to a video. Also, welcome me back because I've been gone for a little while. The video that I have filmed that you're gonna watch in a second was filmed before June 27th. You know when a YouTuber says like, oh, I've tried to film this so many times and it's so hard. It's still very hard, and this is like my fourth try, but wow, I'm getting real on the internet, huh? June 27th, I'm gonna try to get through this without continually crying. June 27th was the day that my father went to be with the Lord. It's been a challenge for sure. I'm still working through things mentally and trying to get back to a semblance of normal, and that involves you guys, and I'm sorry that I've neglected you for so long. Yesterday marked 3 months, and I think that's having a toll, or taking a toll on me. I've put off going through the footage, not because it had anything to do with him or he was in it or anything like that, but it's just hard. Sorry. But I know he was really proud of me for making these videos. Gosh. Don't you hate when you love someone so much that when they leave, it's really sad and you miss them? I know he was really proud of me for getting out of my comfort zone and filming these videos for you all, and he was able to see a different side of me because I'm, believe it or not, a fairly quiet person and I keep to myself a lot. But being with you guys, I'm able to open up and talk about things that I'm really excited about, and I know it's equally reciprocated, and that's why you all are here, and I'm so grateful that you guys are still here after me being missing for a few months. We're almost at 1,000 people, and that's just mind-boggling to me, and I know it's never about the numbers, but when I think about 700 something people supporting me just like my dad did, it's really special. And I'm really grateful for you guys. I might be a little slow to uploading things, and I hope that doesn't annoy you guys or put you off in any way. I wanted to do this for you, and I also wanted to do this for me. I've been putting this off for a very long time, and I feel like it's time for me to keep making him proud and keep making these videos. And to do that, I need to face the hardest one. To see the before and the after is really hard, but enough sadness. I know we're kind of newer friends, but I feel like if I'm able to share this with you, then I'm able to share a lot with you. And so I just wanted to talk about my dad. Like, he was really cool. He was a flight paramedic in Alaska. He saved so many lives, and he helped birth so many babies in the back of tiny little planes in remote Alaska, which is really cool. He was Florida grown, just like me, probably about like 10 minutes from my house, which is funny. He wasn't my birth dad, but to me he was my dad. And he spent a lot of time, his younger years, being a paramedic for the town in Florida that I'm from and surrounding areas, so he also affected a lot of people that way in the best way possible and helped a lot of people, and that is something I'm so honored and grateful for. He was amazing, and I hate that I have to use the past tense now because I was looking forward so much to the future. But because of that, I've made a list of things I want to do before I turn 30 to continue to live, so I don't get stuck in this sadness. And on my list are a bunch of random things, a few of baking, so we will be doing those together, and I'm really excited about it. You guys are my friends, and I open this up to my friends, so I will open it up to you all. I know stranger danger is a thing, and I shouldn't be offering this because of safety reasons, but I don't want to be safe anymore. He didn't live safe. He worked in a job that wasn't safe, let me say that. He was a very safe man. He had 401ks, and he had double life insurance, and he had all these things. He was very safe in that sense. But when it came to life and his job, he saved people in unsafe situations, and so I'm just gonna stop being scared of things. All that is to say that one of the things is to visit every state east of the Mississippi. I have done majority of those, which is why I picked it, because I didn't think it would be such a, you know, big thing. Oh my goodness, I'm crying. Sorry guys. The remaining states I have, and I've had this idea for a while, but stranger danger, and I was scared, but I would like to open it up to y'all if this is the thing that y'all would want to do. If not, that's also fine. The remaining states I have are Indiana, Michigan, New Hampshire, Ohio, Maine, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Delaware. I will be traveling to those within the next 2 years, but this is where y'all come in, possibly. I would love to bake with one or several or 100 of y'all. I don't really care, and just kind of get to know you guys on a personal level, learn about your stories. If it's one person, I would love to just, if you'll have me come over and we can bake in your kitchen, and you can bake something that means a lot to you, and we can talk about your life story. So like I said, if it's one person just coming over, or we can meet up somewhere that has a kitchen. I don't really know. I haven't thought much into this. This is all very spur of the moment thoughts, and just kind of sit. We'll film a video so I can have proof that I was in one of those states. I do need that for you know, accountability reasons. But just chat and bake your favorite thing. It can be sourdough, it doesn't have to be sourdough. It could be your favorite cookie, it could be your favorite pie, it doesn't matter. Just something that means something to you, and we can kind of talk about how and why it means something to you. If it's a group of people, we can just decide on one thing, or we just sit around and eat something that someone has made, or we can go pick up something. If it's 100 of y'all, we can all bake together. I don't know where. We can do something. I would love to meet some of you guys and just get to know you guys better. It's just something that's been in my heart, and I think I should just stop being scared and do it. So if you are in any of the following states, or you're easily able to travel there, I'd love to meet you guys. I would love to bake with you. I'd love to learn more about you and your story. But yeah, thank you so much for all your patience and your kindness. As always, I am always in awe of how incredibly kind you all are and helpful in situations, and I know this time you'll be no different. I just want to say that I love you all so much, and I'm so grateful for you. And let's get into the jump scare. Alright y'all, we are on my lunch break. We have a mission of 2 things. We're going to make a funfetti box cake, because we're not advanced enough to be making funfetti on our own. Truly and honestly. And we need to make some butter, because we're gonna put buttercream on said cake for my best friend's birthday. And I have this super cool not new, it's definitely been used before. It's definitely been around longer than I have, but this new gadget, butter churner, is made by the same company who have the silicone sourdough starter kit. I think I showed you guys in one of the videos. I'll link it there. But yeah, I'm so excited. I bought heavy whipping cream, and we're gonna try it out together, see if it's quick, easy, and user-friendly, because those are the things I look for whenever I'm trying out a new project or new product. And I'm just really excited. I think this should be the easy part, theoretically. Tomorrow's where it kind of gets hard, but yeah, this will just be a week in my life baking. I don't really do vlog styles. I typically have like a thought process and a whole like schedule planned, but that has really backed me in a corner into which I don't have plans anymore. So we're just gonna do a full week of baking. I am now officially a resident of my local coffee shop, so every Sunday I make cinnamon rolls. So coming further down the line this week, we'll have cinnamon rolls to make, as well as a loaf of bread, because I have a returning customer every month or every week. So that's really exciting too. So on the long-term plan for the week, we have a birthday cake to make, we have a batch of cinnamon rolls, and we also have a loaf of bread. So no pressure. And we're gonna make butter from scratch. Like, how sick is that? Let's just get started. Also very unforgiving lighting, but this is the dress. Isn't it cute? And I think it looks better in person, I'm not gonna lie, so I'm definitely not gonna be taking Instagram photos of this. But it's more of like a, oh, how cute, she made it herself, you know? I feel like a little kid at like show and tell, like, guys, look at my dress I made, but it's cute, I think it's cute. This is fabric I got when we were in
Denver. I don't think I ever like filmed during that time, but I just like to get fabric and then see what happens. That's the goal, is to make pieces of clothing from everywhere I've visited. So this is the first piece. She's a work in well, she's not a work in progress. She was a work in progress. I like the top. I think there's some things I would change, but for like first time, kind of into it. Also, yes, this is what you guys sit on all the time. I just need a little stability because my hands are shaky. So what do we think? Okay, now we're gonna bake. And to start off our baking journey, we are doing the one thing I have thought about on repeat since starting my sourdough journey, which is making my own butter. I know that sounds absolutely insane, but when I think about what would be so cool to have at the same time would be my own butter that I churned with my own bread that I made by hand. You know what I mean? Like, there's just something about that. And this makes it so stinking easy. Like, I literally sat there, watched a video, and by the time I was done watching the video, I was also done with the butter. Like, here I am pouring the extra buttermilk that I gained in the process of this, and then now I'm separating out my butter, and then I'm literally done. You can add, just like sourdough bread, you can add anything. So a little later on, I start adding salt because I just wanted salted butter, because I feel like I'm always using salted butter in my baking, and what better way to save on money than just make my own. So I added salt, but there was some options within the actual kit itself to like make some really yummy like cinnamon butter and like all those things that you dream about when you're thinking about best butter combinations with bread. And so I'm so excited to have this, and it was so simple, and I can't wait to make more. And I will have this linked in the description box so you can access it easier, because it really is that good. Okay, let's set the oven to 350. Okay, I don't have any other baking pan, so this is what we're gonna use. I'm gonna do my favorite thing. Most of the time works out, sometimes does not. Cut that. I just try to get a general, and then I can cut down. Gorgeous. Okay, we're just gonna do that twice. We're just going for taste. We're not going for prettiness. Let's just all say a prayer, everything goes well. Okay, and then it says, this is my favorite thing. You just put everything in there, in a bowl. Okay, perfect. I like that you can do this with an egg white option. I just want it to bake evenly and properly, so I'm gonna do the suggested 3. Now that that part is done, let's get the oil. Here's half a cup, and we're just gonna dump this entire thing in here. We also need 1 cup of water. One cup. 2 minutes on medium. Okay, now we're gonna do the fun part, trying to split the batter. Assuming everything went well, and I hope it did, we should get a nice little rise. We're gonna put this in the oven because it's already ready. Going in. Now we're gonna make some sourdough. So I have a 1.5 cups of warm / hot water. There it is. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. If this is your first time making a sourdough loaf, I have a whole entire video on how to bake the perfect loaf every single time. I'm gonna go quite quickly here because I don't have much time left of my break. So, going to use my new fancy gadget. Look at that thing, wow, okay. Who would have thought it would take me this long to get a bread whisk? Is that what they're called, bread whisks? I feel like if I go look at my history of things that I bought, I'll be able to see like the real name, but I feel like that's an appropriate name for this, a bread whisk. It's probably not, but I'm gonna petition that we rename it that because I feel like it just fits. Okay, going to grab some flour here. I like to make it as clean as possible. And I always do 2 cups first, like as a sure thing. And then I let the dough tell me kind of how much more I need. So I'm gonna do initial, oh, this is kind of wet. Okay. We're gonna need a good bit. So I feel confident putting in about that much. That's nearly 3, but I've been known to go over or under. It's all about the feel. This is still quite See how easily it's moving? Sorry, you can't. See how easily it's moving? I don't like seeing bits of unclaimed dough. So I'm just gonna keep adding. I'm gonna make sure I'm scraping off the sides as well. So I'm like mixed on this. I think it's good for separating the sourdough starter in the beginning, but I do love my trusty spatula. I was just really trying to be like less dependent on him because I have searched high and low for that same spatula. I got it from Walmart when I first moved to college. And I was like, oh, haha, this is so funny. It says what's for dinner and it has like random like, I don't know, some type of measurements on the back. And I was like, what a silly fun little thing. Like how cute would that be just sitting in a college dorm kitchen, not knowing I was gonna bake one day. And it is just like the perfect, I think people who bake regularly will understand there's just like certain things that you have to have in your kitchen for it to be, like you have just favorite tools and it doesn't make sense to most people, but it just makes sense to you and that's perfectly okay. That spatula is the perfect thing to me. It doesn't have, I don't like spatulas that bend and like wobble every time you move something. They're perfect for other instances like decorating a cake or something like that, but when I'm trying to like get dough together, I find it really difficult. So I like that it's hard. It's got a nice stiffness to the top. The top doesn't even wobble, which I love. And then the wood is just really nice and like stable. I think the best word to describe that is stable, and I really enjoy it. Now we're almost nearing it. I don't know how much flour I've added, but I think that should be good. Okay, this is fairly good. We're gonna call this quits. I'm going to cover it. We're just gonna let those cakes bake. I say cakes like I have two pans. Cake bake, and then we're gonna put in the other half. We have 30 minutes left before we put the salt on, and then as you saw, we started on the butter. We're just gonna let it sit and kind of get to the right temperature before we start making the buttercream, but things are happening. I'm excited. I've decided that I'm not gonna make you go watch another video to learn how to make sourdough bread, so we're just gonna go through the process very quickly. We've got table salt, my favorite kind. We got a tablespoon. We're gonna do less than a tablespoon. We're gonna do probably, I don't know, however that much is, if you can see. And then we're just gonna disperse this through. I try not to just dump it in one central spot because I find it does kind of stay there. And then we're just gonna kind of mix it in, make sure it's, you know, properly put into place. And then we're gonna go sit it back for 30 minutes. So back in the microwave it goes. You're a little crooked, but that's okay. There we go. 30 minutes. I forgot to show you taking this out, but we're just gonna flip. Actually, I can probably get away with this sitting. I'm just gonna let that cool down there. We're gonna do the same thing now, very quickly. And fill with more batter. Okay, this one might be a little bit bigger. Next time I'm gonna try to split it evenly with a food scale. But you know what? You live and you learn. This is not gonna be a perfect cake, and I'm okay with that. Nice. Doing our first round of stretch and folds here. Grab, stretch, fold. I do this 4 times, and I go in a clockwise position. Does that mean anything? I don't think so. I just do it because I saw someone else do it. And I haven't had any issues with it, so I just continue to do it. And I really try to pull, not to where you can see holes like that. I don't want that. So I'm gonna go another round because I don't want broken dough. I just want it to start to gain elasticity. And by doing that, by pulling it a little bit further, you're kind of forcing it to make its own. And then another 30 minutes. Also, our cake is done, so let's pull that out. It smells good. Okay, we're on stretch and fold number 2. I almost forgot. Doing the same thing. Whee! Okay, here we go. Oh, it's a little stiff. You just want it to get a little bit more limber because that's gonna ultimately decide how your bread rises in the oven. If it's too stiff, it's gonna be condensed and very underbaked. But also on the same side, if it's too stretched, it can bulk up to be like a size of a bowling ball, and then there's gaps. So you want a nice little happy medium, and once you do it more often, you can start to feel it, but I'm gonna let this sit for another 30 minutes and we'll be back. On the last stretch and fold, it's getting a bit crowded here, but same thing. Just picking it up at a random spot. Stretching, stretch, stretch, stretch. I like to grab like a handful and just dust my work surface. And then I don't like to force it. I let it do its own thing and let gravity take hold of it, because I find if I force it, it kind of breaks up all of the good elasticity that we just spent building. And then do pretty much the same thing. So I like to let it get in some flour because it can be quite sticky when it comes out, depending on, I found like depending on weather, what season we're in, it could be stickier. Sometimes it's more dry. During the summer it's stickier because all the humidity here. But yeah, then I just stretch and fold like I have been and make it into one big triangle. I'm gonna fold it into a pamphlet. And then I'm gonna roll it. Just do these little pullbacks. Push and pull and push. There we go. I'm trying to tuck underneath what we have. Trusty bowl. Grab it, pop it in, and then put it in a plastic bag. Doesn't matter which one. I like to make sure it's got no air really. And I'll go drop on the fridge and then we'll bake it tomorrow. We're gonna beat 2 cups, or a cup, sorry. We're gonna beat a cup of butter here. Chop, and probably everyone who's watching this knows, but a stick of butter is half a cup. So if you ever need half cup, whole cup, quarter cup, you can base it off of that information. I'm gonna beat this butter now. On high for 2 to 3 minutes, it says. Starting to all come together. I can see it. Oh, this is so exciting. Another half a cup. Oh, not quite. I want to make sure it's packed correctly. Here's another half cup. This is a cup and a half right now. I started out slow so it doesn't explode on me, and then I kind of pick it up. Probably go to like 6 on here because mine is a bit slower. Wow, my little baby. Comes 2.5. Okay, now I'm gonna add the vanilla and a pinch of salt. A little pinch. This is already salted butter, so I don't want to add that much. So we're gonna do 1 tablespoon. This might be it. Oh wow, that's perfect. Okay, 1 tablespoon going in. Gonna mix that one more time. Should be everything. Just gonna put this down as like a glue for the cake so it doesn't shift in transit. Gorgeous. Just gonna do a little circle there, and then I'm going to kind of smooth this in a while. I can feel it not coming back to me. I'm gonna cut corners, so once this is actually cut, it'll make more sense, I feel like. This cake smells really good though, which is a good thing. That's what we want. Okay, last one going on. Gorgeous, it's looking gorgeous. Another little bit here. So my friend sent me this photo of how to cut this cake, so I'm just gonna follow this. Okay, and then I'm gonna cut this section here. Oh gosh, this is terrifying. That looks pretty good. I think we keep this bit. Okay, and then we cut this portion. Okay, okay, looking good, looking good. Figured it out, guys, don't worry. We're just gonna cut this right here. Hopefully everything turns out okay. I don't know if it's going to, but hopefully we see the vision. Especially when it's like iced up, you know what I mean? I'm gonna, oh gosh. It's not as easy as I remember. Oh no. Panic. Panic. Let's get a little crumb coat going here. Did another round on it of buttercream. This is the crumb coat. I think it looks pretty good. That is the hardest part to get to look good, but like, if you don't look at it, it's not that bad, honestly. Okay, we're sitting today because I don't want to reach over you. This is where it gets kind of important. This is what we're working with. It is uneven, but don't talk about it. Huh? Confetti cake. Okay, we're gonna set this for, sorry guys, I'm gonna flip you off. We're gonna set this to 425. I'll show you. I have my Dutch oven in there. We have milk in the microwave because we're gonna start setting up some cinnamon rolls. This is what it's looking like night after. Grab some more flour to surface. And then flop it on its side. And then a little stretch and fold action again. This is typically, I'm still stretching and folding. This is typically the time that I would add any inclusions because I just don't love the idea of inclusions sitting overnight in my dough. I feel like it gives it room to be soggy, like depending on what it is, of course, but like cheddar and jalapeno, you have all the jalapeno juice that could just sit and stew overnight, and it could get in the bread and make better infusions, but for me personally, I just don't love when I come out with a wet loaf of bread. So I would typically add inclusions here. Since this is just a plain loaf, we're not, but I do the same thing every time because, as you guys know, if you don't, very superstitious about my baking. I'm not a superstitious person in most cases. Like I just don't, I'm not like knock on wood every time something happens, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? I think that's where that comes from. I'm more on that side than like being woo about it, but we have a little burrito here. I just did what we did yesterday. You didn't miss much, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do the push and pulls. You've seen this a trillion times before, I'm sure. But yeah, and then we're gonna attempt design. Is it gonna go according to plan? Probably not. It never does. I can't figure out the best way to get scoring patterns to stay. Whenever I'm putting them in, it's just like, it's however the bread truly wants to bake. So I just feel like I have no control over it. But if you guys have any tips, let me know. I'll zoom you into the bread and we can kind of see where the world takes us. Got my wee little scorer out. What are we thinking? I wish I knew how to make a rose. That would be kind of cute. I just keep thinking of a tulip in my head. You know, let's see if this will work. Wonder if I could get away. It's already not looking promising, but like maybe this is enough to where it'll bake okay. We'll see. Use my favorite invention. This guy. I'll have it linked. I don't have anything to do with it. I just highly recommend this versus parchment paper. I find parchment paper makes it burn easier. It gets stuck in the bread, which I don't love. I don't want to eat parchment paper personally. But it's so easy to clean. You don't have to worry about a mess. I just love them. I've got 3 of them now. I'll probably get more. They're from IKEA. They're like $5. It's really inexpensive. I think that's how much you pay for parchment paper anyway. And I just prefer them because they're reusable. And yeah, they're just great. Okay, I brought you a little bit closer so you can see. The bead is upside down, but you know, just vibes. Put it in for 30 minutes and then we'll come back, take the lid off for 20, and then we'll be done. Take the top off. The bead did not stay, but that's okay. What? Okay, here's the bread. The bead didn't stay, but that's okay.